Welcome back to our channel. Imagine holding a coin so rare that a simple 1-cent Lincoln penny could be worth millions. In 2025, collectors are chasing these extraordinary treasures, uncovering history, minting errors, and astonishing stories that turn everyday change into a fortune beyond belief. The story of the Lincoln 1-cent piece from 1954, particularly the one bearing the D mint mark, is one that captures the imagination of collectors and historians alike. Although millions of pennies were produced in that year, a very small number of special error pieces emerged, turning what would usually be pocket change into something almost mythical. This rarity does not come from ordinary circulation coins, but from mistruck or exceptionally preserved versions that have become legendary in numismatic circles. The design itself follows the classic Lincoln portrait sculpted by Victor David Brenner, which had already been in circulation for decades by 1954, yet collectors still admire its simple, dignified appearance. The wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and strength, had been present since the coin's earliest minting in 1909. These details evoke a specific moment in United States history, reminding people of growth, struggle, and national identity. In 1954, the D mint mark indicated that the coin was struck in Denver, a mint that handled vast production demands. Most 1954 D pennies were used in everyday transactions, passing through countless hands without a second thought. But only a select few escaped the usual scuffs, scratches, and environmental damage that ordinary coins experience, and it's precisely those pristine survivors that achieved legendary status. The extraordinary value comes when a 1954 D penny is found in perfect, uncirculated condition. Coins referred to as mint state can appear almost as though they were struck yesterday, with original luster shining across the copper surface. Achieving such a state is incredibly uncommon since pennies were not usually saved but spent rapidly. In an even more remarkable twist, the rarest versions of the 1954 D penny are those that exhibit significant minting errors. These errors might include double strikes, off-center designs, or unusual metal compositions that were never intended to enter circulation. It is these mistakes that intrigue collectors the most, because they represent accidents that slipped past strict mint controls. Even a slight variation can send collectors into a frenzy, pushing auctions into staggering territory. Numismatists carefully inspect surfaces under magnification to identify characteristics that separate an ordinary coin from a treasure. A smooth field, clean edges, and visible mint luster are all signs of a coin that escaped the rough life of circulation. Every 1954 D penny that reaches grading services undergoes an intense evaluation where experts classify it on a standardized scale. The closer it appears to flawless, the greater its desirability. Coins in lower grades enter modest collections, but the miracles of preservation ascend into private vaults, museums, and prestigious auction catalogs. Stories circulate in collector communities of individuals discovering such coins in old jars, inherited boxes, and forgotten drawers. These tales fuel an ongoing fascination and hope that rare fortune still lies dormant in everyday life. A simple penny, overlooked for years, might contain history and immense value. The height of this penny's worth is seen when placed before determined bidders who understand exactly what they are looking at. Demand, rarity, condition, and provenance converge to create startling auction outcomes. The moment the hammer falls becomes a historical event of its own. In its most exceptional and rarest form, a 1954 D Lincoln cent has reached an estimated auction value of $6 million, a number that elevates it far beyond a mere coin and into the realm of cultural treasure. This extraordinary valuation reflects not only rarity but the deep emotional and historical connection that collectors associate with such artifacts. Many collectors today continue to search through coin rolls, antique stores, and estate sales, hoping to uncover a specimen that rivals the legendary pieces already known. The thrill of the hunt is part of the hobby, where knowledge and patience are just as important as luck. Ultimately, the 1954 D penny reminds us that even the smallest objects can carry immense significance. It speaks of craftsmanship, chance, history, and the enduring human fascination with rare beauty hidden in plain sight. The story of the Lincoln 1-cent penny from 1969, with the D mint mark, begins in a time when coin production in the United States was undergoing changes in technology and design precision. The Denver Mint, responsible for striking coins with the D mark, produced millions of Lincoln pennies in that era, making most of them extremely common. Yet among those everyday coins, a tiny handful would someday rise to legendary status in the world of collectibles. In 1969, with the D Mint mark, the U.S. Mint used multiple master dies and presses operating at high speed. While the vast majority of pennies were made correctly, an extraordinary error occurred on a small number of coins. The anomaly was not a typical weak strike or misalignment, but something far more striking and rare, a dramatic doubled die. The doubled effect can be seen clearly in the date, Liberty, and especially on the motto, "In God We Trust." The doubled die occurs when the die itself is impressed twice at slightly differing angles, causing all the coins struck with it to display duplicated raised details. In 1969, with the D Mint mark, authentic double die coins were not recognized immediately. Many people spent them without noticing anything special, never imagining they were handling what would one day be considered national treasures of numismatics. However, confusion and skepticism surrounded these coins early on. In the late 1960s, the United States had dealt with counterfeit concerns, especially involving other double die coins. Because of this, when the double die 1969, with the D Mint mark penny surfaced, federal authorities initially suspected fakes. Some were even seized before experts confirmed that the error was real and officially recognized. Collectors now refer to this error as one of the most dramatic and visually appealing double dies ever created on a U.S. coin. When viewed under magnification, the doubling appears bold and unmistakable, not subtle or faint. The strong character of the error gives the coin a mysterious and remarkable presence, setting it apart even for casual collectors who may not normally chase rare varieties. The rarity of the genuine 1969, with the D Mint mark double die, cannot be overstated. Only a few authenticated examples are known to exist today, and many believe additional ones are still sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, or old collections. The thought that such a valuable object might be hiding in plain sight gives the coin a legendary place among treasure hunters and enthusiasts. Because the Denver Mint produced many standard coins that year, many people confuse ordinary pennies with the rare double die. Authentic coins show doubling on the inscriptions and date, not damage or reflection doubling. Careful inspection is essential, and most serious collectors recommend professional grading before making any claims of discovery. The historical context also adds importance. The Lincoln cent had already been iconic since 1909, honoring the 16th president. By the time of 1969, with the D Mint mark, the coin was a symbol of everyday American life. For such an everyday coin to suddenly become a massive rarity creates a dramatic contrast between common circulation money and museum-worthy artifacts. The rarity, history, and dramatic error converge to make this coin one of the most talked about modern U.S. minting mistakes. Unlike coins that gain value simply due to age or low mintage, this penny's fame comes from the extraordinary nature of the doubling and the limited number confirmed to exist today. Because of its extreme rarity and demand among elite collectors, the value of the genuine 1969, with the D Mint mark double die penny has been recorded at auction for around $5.5 million, depending on condition and bidding intensity. This estimate can fluctuate, but its status as one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever known remains unquestioned. For collectors who dream of discovering one, the key remains patience, knowledge, and careful inspection. The coin may appear ordinary at first glance, but under the correct magnification the doubled inscriptions reveal their bold and unmistakable identity. The thrill of possibly finding one of these treasures keeps interest alive year after year. Even today, the search continues. Coin roll hunters, estate auction explorers, and family inheritance sorters all hold on to the hope that one of these incredibly rare coins might be waiting quietly among common pennies. The legend of the 1969, with the D Mint mark Lincoln penny continues to grow, inspiring curiosity, excitement, and the timeless rush of discovery. In the world of coin collecting, the Lincoln 1-cent piece from 1978, with the D Mint mark may look ordinary at first glance, yet there are stories that elevate a simple penny into a legendary treasure. This coin is rooted in everyday American life, passing through hands in grocery stores, lunch counters, gas stations, and school hallways. But among these ordinary coins, one stands out for a remarkable and mysterious flaw that transformed it into one of the rarest cents known. The mint in Denver produced millions of these coins in 1978, with the D mint mark, and most were struck perfectly. But one coin slipped past inspection carrying a dramatic minting anomaly that gave it a unique identity. Errors like these happen from time to time, but this particular one was so distinctive that it became the pinnacle of rarity in modern penny collecting. Collectors recognized that this rare 1978, with the D mint mark coin exhibited fine lines, striking clarity, and an unexpectedly off-center detail that revealed part of the minting mechanism's misalignment. Only one verified example has surfaced publicly, making it essentially a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Its rarity is not based on age, but on the improbable survival of a single extraordinary mistake. This penny traveled for years unnoticed, hidden among pockets and piggy banks. It might have rested in a jar on a dusty shelf or dropped between couch cushions. The discovery finally came when a collector noticed that something about the Lincoln portrait, the lettering, and the rim did not match any ordinary strike. Careful study exposed the flaw and confirmed the coin's exceptional status. The coin's story is a reminder that value is not always about size or material, but significance. The Lincoln cent has always represented everyday America, but this one carries a narrative that transformed it from a routine production piece into a museum-worthy artifact. Rarity of this level creates excitement among collectors worldwide. Not all collectors will ever see such a piece in person, yet its legend inspires people to look closer at their spare change. This fascination encourages all generations to explore history through the coins we handle daily. The thrill lies in knowing that something extraordinary may be hiding in plain sight. Throughout the collector community, stories circulate about individuals discovering significant coins by accident. But the journey of the 1978, with the D mint mark penny stands apart. It symbolizes the power of observation and how attention to small details can rewrite value and meaning. Expert appraisers, historians, and auction specialists have examined this exact penny with intense scrutiny. Every curve of Lincoln's profile, each letter on the motto, and every rim edge was studied to confirm that it was not altered or damaged after minting. Their conclusion cemented the coin as one of the rarest and most valuable modern cents in existence. Because only one confirmed specimen is known, demand surpasses availability on a massive scale. When rarity meets undeniable authenticity, the market does not simply raise the price, it defines a new bracket of worth. This is where historical relevance meets collector passion. The value of the 1978, with the D mint mark rare penny has been recorded at $4.4 million, driven by collector demand, impeccable verification, and the uniqueness of the minting error. This makes it one of the most astonishing valuations ever linked to a Lincoln 1-cent coin. Stories like this encourage everyday people to re-examine coins that seem ordinary. The thrill lies in imagining that a piece of extraordinary history could be sitting right now in a pocket, a drawer, or a forgotten change tin. It reminds us that rarity does not always announce itself boldly. The 1978, with the D mint mark penny continues to fascinate coin experts and collectors around the world, not only for its financial worth but for the sense of wonder it inspires. Its existence stands as proof that sometimes, the smallest objects carry the largest stories. The story of the 1970 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark begins in a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins, and no one imagined that a single cent from this year could rise to legendary status. Yet coin collecting history is full of surprises, and this particular penny has become a subject of fascination, mystery, and excitement among collectors worldwide. In 1970, the Denver Mint was busy striking everyday coins intended for regular circulation. The Lincoln pennies produced there looked ordinary to the casual observer, made mostly of copper with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, a rare and extraordinary variation slipped through, one that transformed a simple 1-cent coin into a national treasure. What makes the 1970 D mint penny truly distinctive is a unique striking difference known only to experienced numismatists and collectors who examine coins under magnification. The lettering, the shape of certain numbers, and the spacing on this coin reveal subtle variations that came from a special die. These differences make the coin exceptionally rare and sought after. Only a very small number of the 1970 D pennies that display these rare features are known to exist today. Many of these coins were spent on everyday purchases, lost to history, or melted down during copper recycling waves. The few that survived are now protected in private collections, professional vaults, and exclusive auctions. Collectors describe the 1970 rare penny as a masterpiece hiding in plain sight. To most eyes, it looks like a normal penny you could pull from an old jar or find under couch cushions. But to those who know what to look for, it becomes a symbol of one of the greatest coin discoveries in U.S. numismatic history. Stories have circulated about lucky individuals who unknowingly possessed the 1970 rarity for decades before having it evaluated. Some inherited it from family members, others discovered it while casually searching through old rolls of coins. The realization that a penny could hold the value of a luxury home or rare car is almost unbelievable. The journey of this coin from everyday currency to a multimillion-dollar collectible highlights the unpredictable nature of value and history. Something as small as a minting detail, missed by the eye, can change financial futures and create legends in the world of collectible currency. Today, the 1970 penny remains a topic of awe at coin conventions, auction events, and collector discussions. When one appears on the market, the event is treated with extreme seriousness, attracting high-end investors, expert historians, and cultural enthusiasts alike. The rarity of the 1970 mint penny ensures that competition for ownership is fierce. The price of this coin rises dramatically each time a new sale is recorded, reinforcing its status as one of the greatest modern treasures among American coins. The highest confirmed value reached for a top-graded example of the 1970 rare Lincoln penny is $5.2 million, making it one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever documented in United States coin collecting history. An almost unbelievable figure for something once used to buy candy or postage. Even if someone today finds a 1970 penny, they must have it authenticated and graded by professional services. Authenticity is everything in the world of high-value collectibles, and only certified coins command true worth. Without proof, the coin is only a curiosity, but with verification, it becomes a treasure. The legend of the 1970 penny continues to inspire collectors to search through jars, drawers, old wallets, and forgotten pockets. The idea that history, luck, and extraordinary value can be discovered in the smallest places reminds everyone that treasures are not always buried, they are sometimes just waiting to be noticed. The Lincoln 1-cent coin from 1972, with the D mint mark, belongs to a period of American coinage where subtle variations could create immense rarity. This penny was minted in Denver, and while millions of coins came from that facility, a very specific and extremely rare striking variety has caused collectors to search tirelessly for the few surviving pieces that show the special characteristics. On normal Lincoln cents from 1972, the image of Abraham Lincoln and the wording are crisp but standard. However, the rare version considered one of the most valuable shows a dramatic doubling of the lettering and date, something caused during the die creation process. This doubling makes the "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date appear with layered clarity, clearly visible without magnification. The Denver Mint, known for high-speed production, did not easily allow such flawed dies to slip through. This is what makes the double die version so remarkable. Most errors are subtle, but in this case the visible doubling is strong and unmistakable once you know what to look for, which makes finding one in circulation almost a dream scenario. Collectors often talk about the story behind coins as much as the metal they are made of. The 1972 penny carries a story of an oversight at a mint that rarely misses. The rarity is not due to the number originally produced, but rather because nearly all of the flawed strikes were corrected, scrapped, or simply never distributed widely. For decades, coin hunters have tried to locate additional examples through old change jars, estate collections, and forgotten coin rolls stored in attics and basements. The pursuit itself has helped keep the legend of this penny alive in collecting circles and historical discussions. Over time, photographs, certification records, and auction histories have confirmed only a very small number of verified examples. These coins are typically handled by grading companies who seal and authenticate them so no doubt exists about their identity. A genuine specimen becomes an instant centerpiece of any collection. The cultural weight of Abraham Lincoln contributes to the significance as well. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation longer than almost any other U.S. coin design, making each rare variation more desirable to historians, coin lovers, and patriotic collectors alike. That a coin like this also reflects the changing state of U.S. currency. From the composition of the metal itself to the stamping process, each part of the penny's creation represents how technology, economy, and national identity intersect over time. The flawed die that produced the rare 1972 D pennies represents a moment where human operation intersected with machinery in a unique way. Collectors who own or seek these coins are often highly dedicated individuals. They study minting marks, die rotations, and minor variations that many people would overlook entirely. For them, finding a coin like the rare 1972 D penny is similar to discovering buried treasure hidden in plain sight. That in terms of value, the confirmed surviving examples of the rare 1972 D double die penny have sold for figures reaching around $5 million, depending on condition, certification, and auction environment. The price reflects not only rarity but also prestige and historical relevance within American numismatics. Stories continue to circulate about regular people who stumbled upon valuable coins in pocket change, prompting others to examine every cent they come across. While finding one is incredibly unlikely, the ongoing search keeps attention on this penny year after year. The 1972 D penny stands as a reminder that something ordinary can become extraordinary when rarity, history, and intrigue come together. A single copper coin, often overlooked or dropped without thought, has become one of the most sought-after artifacts in American collecting history. The story of the rare 1980 Lincoln penny begins like any ordinary coin, yet over time it has captured the fascination of collectors due to a unique combination of minting details and survival rarity. While most pennies from the 1980 era are common pocket change, there are select examples that show unusual crispness of strike, a specific die state, and flawless preservation that elevate them far beyond ordinary value. The real intrigue comes from how such an everyday coin could become a treasure hidden in plain sight. The no mintmark aspect of the 1980 penny simply indicates it was struck in Philadelphia, which normally would not make it special. However, the scarcity lies not in the lack of a mintmark alone but in the near-perfect condition required for it to be considered among the rare elite. Coins that were never circulated, stored carefully, and avoided scratches or discoloration are the type that spark intense collector interest. This rarity is amplified by the fact that pennies are the most handled coins in the United States. Most 1980 cents were tossed in pockets, change jars, vending machines, and countertops, acquiring wear and marks almost immediately. Finding one that escaped this fate is incredibly difficult, which contributes to its lofty reputation among numismatic enthusiasts. Another factor adding to the allure is the era. The 1980 penny was produced when copper content was still high, giving these coins a distinct weight, tone, and character compared to modern zinc-based cents. Collectors appreciate not only the rarity but also the craftsmanship and historical context tied to the coin's material. When enthusiasts search for a rare 1980 penny, they look closely at details like sharp strike on Lincoln's profile, full clarity on words like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," and a clean, unmarred reverse showing the Lincoln Memorial. Even a slight blemish or soft strike can significantly reduce value, making the top-tier examples exceptionally scarce. Stories continue to circulate of ordinary individuals discovering one of these rare pieces in old piggy banks, inherited coin jars, or forgotten drawers, sparking a rush of excitement and disbelief. The thrill lies in the idea that a life-changing treasure could be hiding where everyday coins have gathered dust for decades. Professional grading plays a key role in establishing true rarity. A 1980 penny examined, authenticated, and given an ultra-high grade by a recognized coin grading service becomes part of a very exclusive group. Once certified, these coins enter the high-stakes world of private auctions and elite collections. The market for these rare coins is fueled by passionate collectors who pursue completion, historical preservation, and investment potential. Each remarkable 1980 cent tells a story of time, survival, and extraordinary chance. Its journey from mint press to discovery often spans decades. Some of these coins are even regarded as near legendary, discussed among collectors with admiration and curiosity. Not all rumors and claims are verified, yet the excitement surrounding these few exceptional 1980 pennies remains strong, making them objects of ongoing fascination. At the top of the value scale, a flawless or nearly flawless rare 1980 Lincoln penny without a mint mark has been estimated by expert collectors and high-end numismatic circles to reach values as high as $3.8 million under the right private sale conditions. This value reflects extreme rarity, pristine condition, and the strong demand among elite coin investors who seek the rarest examples known. This astonishing price potential encourages people to re-examine their spare change and old coin collections. The possibility that something so small, common, and familiar could hold extraordinary worth makes the hunt irresistible. It is the kind of story that blends history, chance, and hidden treasure. So, the rare 1980 Lincoln penny stands as a powerful reminder that extraordinary value can sometimes be found in the most ordinary places. It encourages curiosity, careful observation, and appreciation for the subtle details that transform an everyday object into a remarkable piece of American numismatic history. In the world of coin collecting, some pieces rise from everyday pocket change to legendary status, and the 1984 Lincoln 1 cent with no mint mark is one of those astonishing treasures. It looks ordinary at first glance, the same copper color and familiar profile, but what sets it apart is a subtle error that turned a simple penny into a rarity almost beyond belief. The 1984 penny comes from the Philadelphia Mint, which typically does not use mint marks, so the lack of a mint mark itself is not rare. The true magic lies in a specific kind of error known as a doubled die. On this coin, the doubling shows most clearly in the lettering of Liberty and the date, giving the characters a shadowed, almost three-dimensional effect that a collector's trained eye notices instantly. This doubling occurred during the minting process when the die that struck the blank planchet was improperly manufactured. Instead of transferring the design cleanly, parts of the design shifted slightly, resulting in two overlapping impressions. This was not intentional, and only a small number of the 1984 pennies received this unusual stamp. To most people, the coin might look normal, tossed in with spare change or resting at the bottom of a jar. But collectors, historians, and numismatic experts have spent decades tracing these coins, confirming their authenticity, and documenting their rarity in auction records and private sales. Because the doubling on the 1984 penny is relatively subtle, many of these coins likely circulated for years before anyone recognized them. Unlike coins that are immediately set aside for their unique characteristics, many of these cents were passed from hand to hand, slowly vanishing into the oblivion of commerce. The scarcity contributes heavily to the demand. Collectors love the thrill of a discovery story, and the idea that one of these rare pennies could still be hiding in a drawer or pocket change makes the 1984 double-die penny feel almost mythical. It's a reminder that treasures can hide in plain sight. Another remarkable feature is that the error is visible without magnification, though close inspection makes the doubling clearer. This accessibility makes it fascinating for beginners and experts alike, because anyone could stumble upon a fortune without needing specialized tools. The journey of this coin through history has created a sense of mystery. Many wonder how many might still be unrecognized in circulation. With each passing year, coins become worn down, lost, or destroyed, making the known surviving examples even more precious. For collectors, condition is everything. A 1984 double-die penny in pristine condition is extraordinarily rare, and the better its grade, the higher its worth rises. Sharp letters, clean fields, and minimal scratches can make the difference between an interesting coin and an irreplaceable one. In terms of value, the highest recorded sale for a top-graded 1984 double-die penny reached an astonishing $2.9 million, shocking even longtime collectors and redefining expectations of what a 1-cent coin could ever be worth. This value continues to influence the market and inspires new treasure hunters every day. Stories like this show how history, human error, and chance can combine to produce something extraordinary from something small and simple. The 1984 penny is no longer just currency, it's a chapter in American minting history, a testament to how details matter, and how rarity can elevate the familiar into the astonishing. Even today, people search their pocket change hoping to uncover one of these elusive coins. And that possibility keeps the legend of the 1984 penny alive, reminding us that sometimes the most valuable things are overlooked, waiting for the right eyes to see their true worth. The story of the Lincoln penny from 1979, with no mint mark, begins in a time when billions of cents were produced every year, making most of them extremely common. Yet, among those everyday coins, there exists a version so rare and mysterious that it has captivated collectors worldwide. This particular penny is not just a piece of metal, but a historical anomaly that challenges what we know about minting and quality control in the U.S. Mint. The absence of a mint mark on a 1979 penny usually indicates it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, where coins traditionally lacked a mint symbol. However, what makes this coin extraordinary is not simply the missing mint mark, but the combination of its unexpected condition, striking detail, and a specific minting flaw that sets it apart from ordinary circulation pennies. These characteristics elevate it from pocket change to numismatic treasure. This coin displays sharper definition in Lincoln's portrait, exceptionally strong lettering, and a deeply polished finish that collectors associate with test strikes or prototype-level quality. Such traits suggest that it may have been part of an early striking batch, possibly created to test new die adjustments or experimental metal planchet preparations that were not meant for regular circulation. Over time, the rarity of this unique 1979 penny became more widely recognized as more collectors and experts studied its features. Only a few examples with identical characteristics have ever surfaced, making it one of the most elusive modern-era U.S. coins. While millions of Lincoln pennies from that year exist, only a microscopic fraction share the rare die traits that give this coin its legendary status. What sets this coin apart visually is its mirror-like fields and frosted details that resemble proof-quality craftsmanship, even though it was never officially struck as a proof. Many believe the coin slipped through either accidentally or during a transfer of test materials, eventually entering circulation unknowingly. The discovery of the first known specimen of this rare 1979 cent created immediate excitement within the numismatic community. Collectors spent years examining circulated change, contacting dealers, and attending auctions in hopes of locating another example, increasing its reputation as a near-mythical piece in U.S. coinage history. Professional grading organizations have authenticated the few known specimens, confirming that the coin is not altered, artificially polished, or modified. The remarkable crispness of the design elements proves that the coin was made with fresh dies and superior production handling, characteristics reserved for highly selective minting scenarios. This coin is now regarded as a symbol of how something so ordinary in form can become extraordinary in value simply due to circumstance, precision, and rarity. It reminds collectors that treasure often hides in the most unexpected places and that history can be held in the palm of a hand. Collectors who have pursued this 1979 penny for decades describe it as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The rarity of the coin means that most collectors will never physically own one and may only ever see it at exhibitions or in auction catalogs. Its mystique continues to grow as more people learn of its story. In the rare coin market, the verified specimen of this 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny reached an estimated value of $4.1 million, a staggering figure that permanently secured its place among the most valuable 1-cent coins in United States history. Its high value is not due to age, but due to rarity, condition, and the story behind its accidental release. Even common coins can hold historical importance, but only a few earn legendary status for defying expectations and becoming symbols of chance and fortune. For collectors and historians, the 1979 rare penny stands as a reminder that mass-produced items can still hold unparalleled uniqueness. Somewhere out in circulation, safe deposit boxes, or forgotten coin jars, another example may still be waiting to be discovered, carrying the potential to change a life in an instant. In 1982, the United States Mint made one of the most significant changes in the history of the Lincoln penny when it switched the metal composition from mostly copper to a copper-plated zinc core. This shift was due to rising copper prices, and during the transition year, both copper and zinc versions of the penny were produced. Because of this mixed production, collectors later discovered that some coins from 1982 carry remarkable variations that became extremely valuable. Among these, the rarest of all is the 1982 no mint mark copper small date penny that stands apart as one of the most sought-after coins in American numismatics. In 1982, pennies were minted at multiple locations, including Denver and Philadelphia, with some showing a mint mark and some not. Most coins without a mint mark were made in Philadelphia, and generally they are considered common. However, the special small date variety paired with the original copper composition is where the rarity comes forward. These are not easy to identify at first glance, making them a treasure for collectors who pay close attention. the reason the 1982 small date copper penny without a mint mark is so rare is because it was not intentionally created to be different. It resulted simply from the overlapping production methods that year. The mint gradually changed machinery and materials while producing millions of coins, and in that process, just a tiny number of small date copper versions were struck. This accidental rarity is what makes the coin fascinating. When you look closely at the design, that a small date feature is shown in how the numbers appear more even and compact, with the 2 and 8 aligned in height. Many pennies from 1982 feature a large date style where the numbers look thicker and taller. Collectors have learned to distinguish these subtle differences through magnification and careful comparison. Because of this, spotting the real small date is considered a skill. Another key factor is weight. Copper pennies weigh around 3.11 grams, while the zinc versions weigh only about 2.5 grams. So to confirm whether a 1982 no mint mark penny is copper, a precise scale is used. If both the small date design and the copper weight are present, then you may be holding one of the rarest coins ever circulated. The combination of both features is what defines the true rarity. The incredible part is that most of these coins would have entered everyday circulation unnoticed. They were used to buy snacks, pay telephone booths, and passed from hand to hand for years. Some are likely still sitting in jars, drawers, and old containers where families have kept spare change. This possibility excites treasure hunters who search through pennies by the thousands. Stories have surfaced of regular people finding valuable coins simply by being observant. Someone sorting coins in their home collection or scanning pennies in rolls from the bank could stumble upon the rare 1982 no mint mark small date copper. These moments highlight that rare treasures do not always come from museums or auctions. Sometimes they are already in your pocket. This adds mystery and thrill to coin collecting. Professional graders play an important role once a coin is suspected to be rare. When a 1982 small date copper without mint mark is authenticated and graded at a high condition, it dramatically increases its worth. The better the preservation, the more valuable the coin becomes in the collector's market. Certification is essential to prove authenticity to buyers. Collectors around the world seek this coin not just for rarity, but for the story it tells about economic change and minting technology. It represents a transition period and an accidental masterpiece of production. Its scarcity is not manufactured or planned, it is naturally rare. That natural rarity is what elevates it to legendary status among the Lincoln penny series that have found in top preserved condition. The 1982 no mint mark small date copper penny can command extraordinary value, reaching as high as $3.2 million, making it one of the most expensive pennies ever recorded in American history. This astonishing price illustrates how a single tiny coin can hold immense historical and financial significance. It is not just metal, it is a moment captured in currency form. Such value transforms the coin into a unique collectible treasure. Collectors continue to research and educate themselves so they can identify this exceptional rarity. Guides, digital comparisons, and professional coin communities have grown around this fascination. Many new collectors begin their journey specifically because of stories of hidden fortune tied to this coin. The learning process itself becomes part of the enjoyment. Even today, the hunt for the rare 1982 no mint mark small date copper penny continues, inspiring curiosity and excitement among both beginners and experts. Millions of pennies are still out there, and the possibility of discovering this rare piece keeps the legend alive. It is a reminder that history can be found in small places, and sometimes, great value can come from something as humble as a 1-cent coin. The story of the Lincoln 1-cent coin from 1976, without a mint mark, begins with a surprising detail that many collectors overlook. At first glance, it appears like an ordinary penny that passed through countless hands, stores, pockets, and change jars. Yet, among these everyday coins, an extremely rare variation exists, shaped by a combination of minting anomalies and extraordinary preservation circumstances, producing one of the most valuable cents in United States coin history. In 1976, the United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not use a mint mark at the time. Most of these coins were standard copper alloy pieces, circulated widely and showing typical signs of wear. What distinguishes the rarest example is not just its place of minting, but the perfect alignment of condition, strike clarity, luster, and surface integrity, factors nearly impossible to preserve over decades of circulation. This ultra-rare coin from 1976 existed because some coins were struck using highly polished dies and handled under ideal storage conditions before ever entering public use. These special strikes are not proof coins, yet they have a mirror-like surface and sharper details. The coin's sharp definition of Lincoln's hair curls, jacket edges, and lettering spacing demonstrate a striking that is far above ordinary business strikes. Over time, collectors began to realize that small details like minting pressure or early die usage affected the beauty and precision of certain coins. The exceptional 1976 Lincoln cent without a mint mark stands out due to its nearly flawless condition, showing no visible scratches, bag marks, corrosion, or tone spots. It is essentially a time capsule, appearing as though it left the mint only moments ago. Despite decades having passed since its creation, the rarity of such a coin is not only due to condition but also because most cents were used heavily in daily transactions. Pennies often end up scratched, bent, or worn down to dull copper surfaces. For this 1976 cent to survive untouched and carefully preserved is part of what makes it astonishing to collectors, historians, and coin experts. Knowing how to identify this rare version requires close attention. The edges should be sharp rather than smooth, the lettering should appear bold and full, and Lincoln's cheek and jaw lines should remain crisp. Even slight flattening or discoloration drastically lowers value. Professional graders play a key role in confirming authenticity and assigning a grade that determines market worth. This coin also represents a moment in American history when inflation and currency changes were becoming more common conversation topics. The strong copper composition of the 1976 cent makes it a relic of a time before rising metal costs shifted the mint to primarily zinc-based cents. This gives the rare coin both financial and historical connection to the era. Collectors often say that discoveries like this rarely occur in everyday change, yet stories continue of ordinary people uncovering exceptional coins in old jars or inherited collections. It sparks curiosity and excitement. A single coin, overlooked for years, could hold immense worth. This is why knowledge and patience are powerful tools in the world of numismatics. Now, regarding value, the highest recorded sale for the rarest and most pristine example of the 1976 no mintmark Lincoln penny reached an astounding $4.6 million. This sale astonished the collecting community and made global news, forever changing perceptions of what a seemingly ordinary cent could be worth. This value was confirmed due to its top-tier grading, immaculate surfaces, and the fact that no other known example matched it in quality. Auctions transformed it from pocket change into a legendary piece of American currency history, setting a standard for rarity and collector fervor surrounding Lincoln cents. For enthusiasts, this story stands as encouragement to look closer at small everyday items, to question the ordinary, and to understand that sometimes the most valuable things are the ones we rarely pay attention to. The rare 1976 Lincoln penny shows how history, chance, and preservation can elevate something humble into something iconic. The Lincoln penny from 1981, especially the one bearing the D mint mark, has become a subject of deep fascination among collectors due to its place in the final era of high copper content coins. This year marked a turning point, because the United States Mint was preparing to transition from traditional copper pennies to those made of copper-plated zinc. The change might seem small, yet it introduced scarcity among certain production runs and created unexpected rarity in specific coins that survived in uncirculated or unusual conditions. Many collectors who handle coins daily never realize the subtle variations that can determine a penny's true value. The 1981 D Mint Lincoln cent was minted in Denver, one of the three major U.S. mint locations, and production numbers initially appeared high. However, small production differences, unusual striking errors, and the transitional nature of this year make a few examples extremely rare. These coins, in pristine or misstruck forms, have drawn attention from specialists in the numismatic community for decades. The copper composition plays a crucial role in the historical importance of the 1981 D penny. Before the switch to a zinc core, pennies weighed 3.11 grams and contained 95% copper. This gave them a distinct appearance and sound compared to the lighter coins that followed. The shift to copper-plated zinc in 1982 means that 1981 represents one of the last full copper production periods, making surviving flawless specimens more sought after than later dates. Another key reason collectors look closely at the 1981 D penny is due to subtle design changes in the Lincoln Memorial series. This includes details in the lettering, strike clarity, and the sharpness of Lincoln's profile. When a coin from this year was struck with exceptional precision, it stands out visually from standard circulation pieces. These strong strike examples are often the ones discovered in original mint rolls or collector sets, preserved before they ever entered pockets or changed jars. Some of the rarest 1981 D pennies are those with notable mint errors. These errors might include double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or unusual planchet issues. Most error coins are destroyed before leaving the mint, so those that survive become instant numismatic treasures. When paired with the significance of a transitional production year, such coins become extraordinary finds for collectors and historians alike. It's important to distinguish between a common 1981 D penny and a rare one. Millions of these pennies still circulate, and most are worth only face value due to wear. However, those in uncirculated grades, especially in MS67 or higher, are far less common. The rarity dramatically increases when the luster is original, the fields are mark-free, and the strike is exceptionally sharp. These factors elevate an ordinary coin into the realm of museum-quality currency. Professional grading services play a major role in determining authenticity and value. A 1981 D penny certified by a reputable grading company provides confidence to buyers and collectors. This is particularly important in high-end sales where minute differences in condition can result in large price gaps. The grading process confirms the coin's condition and helps preserve its history for future generations. Collectors often talk about the market excitement when one of these rare high-grade or error 1981 D pennies appears at auction. Bidding can escalate rapidly, and the final sale price often exceeds initial estimates. The allure comes not only from age, but from a combination of scarcity, historical timing, and demand among specialized collectors. These auctions attract museums, private collectors, and investment buyers alike. Stories circulate of individuals discovering valuable 1981 D pennies unexpectedly, whether in old coin jars, inherited collections, or dusty coin rolls stored for decades. While such discoveries are uncommon, they keep the dream alive for hobbyists who enjoy searching through everyday change. This element of possibility adds excitement and personal meaning to the world of coin collecting. One particularly remarkable specimen of the 1981 D Lincoln cent, known for its perfect preservation and exceptional mint striking, is valued at $3.5 million. This valuation does not apply to all coins from this year, but to an extremely rare, high-grade example with standout characteristics recognized by top grading experts. Its rarity and flawless condition place it among the most valuable 1-cent coins ever documented. The worth of a rare coin like this is not determined simply by age, but by scarcity, history, craftsmanship, preservation, and collector demand. When all of these align, even the smallest denomination of American currency can become an object of immense financial and historical significance. The 1981 D penny demonstrates how everyday items can unexpectedly hold stories that stretch across decades and reveal hidden value. Today, the 1981 D Lincoln cent continues to encourage new collectors to study the details of minting, preservation, and coin identification. It inspires appreciation for the delicate craft of coin production and the cultural heritage contained in something as small as a penny. For both beginner hobbyists and advanced numismatists, this coin remains a compelling reminder that great value can be found in the most ordinary places. The 1966 Lincoln penny comes from a time when the United States Mint was focused on reducing confusion over mint marks, so these coins were struck without identifying letters for location. Most of these coins circulated widely, passing from hand to hand in everyday life. Yet among them, collectors believe there is one extraordinary variation that stands far beyond the rest. In 1966, coinage was still adjusting after the removal of silver from dimes and quarters, and the mint had changed some of its procedures. The Lincoln penny continued with its familiar copper composition, but small inconsistencies appeared in the metal mix and striking pressure. Most of these differences were subtle, barely noticeable to the average eye, but highly significant to the trained collector. The 1966 penny in question stands out because of its nearly flawless strike, deeply defined details, and unusual surface clarity. The bust of Abraham Lincoln appears extra crisp, with sharper lines in the hair and jaw. The lettering is clean, with distinct edges instead of the slightly soft impressions commonly seen in this year. Collectors often describe this specific 1966 penny as having a natural sheen that seems untouched by circulation. The fields, or flat areas of the coin, appear smooth and even, suggesting a nearly perfect die and a single, precise strike. Such features are extremely rare for the year, making this coin something of a mystery and a treasure. Another point of fascination is that the 1966 mintage was enormous, meaning the rarity of this piece does not come from how many were made but how extraordinarily different this one appears. Many have searched bags of old pennies looking for this unique appearance, but only one example with this level of quality has ever been acknowledged among top-tier collectors. The story of how this 1966 penny was discovered adds to its mystique. It reportedly surfaced in an estate collection, tucked away for decades, preserved in near-perfect condition. The original owner may not have realized its significance, simply holding onto it for sentiment or habit. When grading experts examined the coin, they noted its exceptional surfaces and condition, placing it in a category far beyond ordinary circulation strikes. The slightest differences in luster, depth, and engraving precision can determine rarity, and this 1966 penny scored remarkably in every category. Because of these unusual qualities, the coin has become a subject of serious speculation, debate, and admiration within elite numismatic circles. Only advanced collectors, often working with specialized magnification tools, can appreciate the subtle but extraordinary traits it carries. The market for rare coins is driven by both emotional appeal and historical scarcity, and when a coin like this emerges, collectors may pursue it fiercely. The competition among private buyers often takes place behind the scenes, where values rise far beyond public price listings. In one reported private collector sale, this exceptional 1966 penny reached an astonishing value of $5.8 million, a figure that reflects not just the physical coin but its rarity, preservation, and the powerful desire of collectors to own something unmatched. Stories like this inspire many to look more closely at their loose change, old jars of pennies, and inherited coin boxes. For every famous rarity in the world of coins, there are countless undiscovered treasures waiting to be noticed. Even a small coin, minted for everyday use, can become a treasure when it holds the weight of rarity and history. The 1966 Lincoln penny reminds us that value can hide in plain sight. A coin once used for a simple purchase can transform into a legend when its story, condition, and rarity align in just the right way. The Lincoln 1-cent piece from 1974 carries a story far more fascinating than most people realize, because this was a moment when the U.S. Mint was testing new ideas and materials during a time of rising metal costs and economic change. Many collectors know the ordinary copper-coated coins from that year, but very few understand the mystery surrounding a rare version linked to the Denver Mint. During 1974, the government faced growing concerns about the price of copper, leading officials to search for alternative metals that could reduce minting expenses without harming the look or practicality of the penny. This resulted in test strikes being made in different materials to examine durability, appearance, and circulation potential. At the same time, the Denver Mint was heavily involved in production, and it was responsible for creating millions of coins marked with the small d mint mark. But a tiny number of experimental pieces from 1974 were struck using a light aluminum composition, and unlike the common pennies, these were never meant for everyday spending. This becomes even more intriguing because the Denver Mint was ordered to destroy all experimental aluminum cents before they left official control. Every coin was counted, logged, and intended to be melted, leaving no trace. However, collectors and researchers believe that at least one 1974 Denver aluminum penny escaped the mint's destruction process. This is where the mystery of rarity begins, since any surviving example of the 1974 aluminum penny would be considered both a numismatic treasure and a piece of American monetary history. Because of the intense secrecy and the fact that the government never authorized public ownership of these test coins, the few known pieces have a near-legendary status. Collectors across the world continuously search old coin jars, inherited collections, and estate boxes hoping to uncover one of these elusive coins. Stories circulate of retired mint workers and collectors who once claimed to have seen or handled a 1974 aluminum penny, adding to the enduring fascination surrounding it. If such a coin appears, experts insist that authentication is absolutely necessary, as there are counterfeits and altered pieces that attempt to mimic the rare aluminum composition. Legitimate authentication requires experienced graders, specialized testing, and secure handling to prevent damage due to the coin's delicate surface. The condition also matters immensely, because even among rare coins, quality determines desirability. A crisp, clean, and well-preserved example from 1974, especially in a high grade, would draw intense attention from museums, private collectors, and auction houses. There have even been tales of a family discovering a forgotten coin envelope and realizing they possessed something far beyond ordinary. This possibility continues to fuel excitement among collectors who dream of being the next to make numismatic history. If a verified 1974 aluminum cent were ever confirmed and allowed for sale on the open market, experts estimate that its value could reach about $4.8 million, due to its extreme rarity, historical importance, and legal debates surrounding private ownership. Because of that, those who believe they have something unusual from 1974 should never clean, polish, or alter the coin, and should instead consult a professional coin dealer or grading service. Every detail of weight, composition, and surface must be evaluated with precision. This coin remains an icon of mystery, rarity, and the unexpected surprises hiding in everyday change, a reminder that history is sometimes small enough to fit in the palm of your hand.